We all know we need to save, but despite our best intentions, money often slips right through our fingers before hitting a savings account. For decades, society has treated this failure as a simple math problem. The assumption is that building wealth relies entirely on having a high income or ironclad willpower. But human behavior constantly defies basic arithmetic. If our wallets were ruled by pure logic, we would calculate our budgets perfectly and stick to them, no matter the circumstance. The reality is that we do not process financial choices through calculation. We process them through the specific, often irrational architecture of the human brain. To understand how that architecture works, researchers ran an extensive field experiment involving thousands of new users on the financial app Acorns. This image shows the prompt given to the experiment's control group. Researchers asked these users to set up an automated recurring savings deposit of exactly $150 a month. Now, look at this alternate screen. A second group of users received a slightly different prompt. They were asked to save $5 a day. Mathematically, $5 a day and $150 a month are exactly the same amount of money. The financial cost to the user is identical. Monthly framing saw only 7% sign up, but presented as $5 a day, participation quadrupled to nearly 30%. Crucially, this daily framing erased the gap between income brackets, causing lower-income users to save at the exact same rate as the wealthiest users. If the actual dollars leaving their bank accounts were identical, why did a simple phrasing tweak drastically change human reaction? The answer lies in behavioral finance. As this academic paper highlights, our financial choices are deeply vulnerable to psychological distortions that deviate from pure rationality. Our brains use heuristics, mental shortcuts to process data quickly. But these shortcuts are imperfect, creating systematic errors in our judgment, known as cognitive biases. Look at this graphic illustrating loss aversion. This is a biological quirk where the human brain feels the pain of losing money far more intensely than the pleasure of gaining that exact same amount. When the Acorns control group was asked to part with a lump sum of $150, it triggered a sharp sense of loss. The brain interprets a large monthly withdrawal as a significant threat to its current resources. But perception changes entirely based on the framing effect. This bias demonstrates how presenting the exact same information in a different way completely alters our choices. By chopping that $150 into a $5 daily habit, researchers bypassed loss aversion. The brain mentally recategorized the expense from a painful sacrifice to a minor, manageable daily purchase, like a cup of coffee. This proves we do not evaluate money based on its objective mathematical value. We evaluate it based on how painfully its loss is framed to our brains. Once we understand that our logic is being hijacked by these internal rules, we can begin to use those same rules to our advantage. Take status quo bias. Humans have a hardwired preference to maintain our current state of affairs rather than expend the energy to change our behavior. You can turn this inertia into a tool by setting your accounts to transfer money automatically. Your natural tendency to do nothing becomes a reliable wealth-building strategy. The same logic applies to social pressure. Herd behavior often drives us toward impulse spending to match those around us. But by joining a savings circle, you can flip that instinct, using the group's momentum to keep you on track. This creates a structural defense against the brain's desire for quick gains. By using delayed gratification wish lists, you enforce a mandatory waiting period that allows the short-term emotional spike of an impulse to fade. These aren't just tips, they are structural guardrails. By recognizing these mental flaws, we can design proactive systems that protect us from our own instincts. The experiment at Acorns demonstrates that the rational economic human is a myth. Our financial choices are continuously influenced by the evolutionary architecture of our own minds, which often prioritizes immediate comfort over long-term security. However, this biological quirk is actually an exploitable trait. You do not need flawless discipline or an outsized income to accumulate wealth, provided you adjust your environment correctly. You have the power to become the choice architect of your own life, designing your surroundings so the easiest default option is the one that builds your future. Stop relying on sheer willpower to overcome your psychology. Instead, trick your brain by breaking large financial goals into microscopic daily habits and automating the entire process. Building financial freedom is less about how much you make and more about how effectively you can hack your own psychology to keep it.